Surrounding the nerves in your brain and spinal cord are support cells that can flip into a kind of emergency metabolic mode, the same mode cancer cells use. It's meant to be temporary, but in chronic pain, these cells can get stuck in it, pumping out signals that keep your entire central nervous system locked in a pro-pain state. Let me show you this remarkable and treatable switch. I'm Dr. Padda. We continue our cellular energy subseries, now turning to a special population of cells, your glia. These are the support and immune cells of your nervous system, and a particular metabolic shift they undergo helps explain why some pain becomes centralized, persistent, and self-sustaining. Here's the background. Your neurons don't work alone. They're surrounded and supported by glial cells, including microglia, which act as the immune cells of the nervous system, and astrocytes, which provide support and regulation. When all is well, these glia maintain a calm, supportive environment for your neurons. But when there's nerve injury or chronic inflammation, the glia become activated. They shift into a defensive, reactive state. And part of that shift is a dramatic change in how they produce energy. Now the mechanism, and it's striking. When glia activate, they often undergo a metabolic reprogramming. Similar to something called the Warburg effect, the same metabolic switch famously seen in cancer cells. They shift away from the slow, efficient energy production of oxidative phosphorylation toward rapid, inefficient aerobic glycolysis. Why would they do that? Because this faster mode, though wasteful of fuel, provides the quick burst of energy required to mount a rapid immune and inflammatory response. In the short term, for an acute threat, that makes sense. But this inefficient mode produces high levels of byproducts, particularly lactate and other metabolites. And here's the key. Those metabolites aren't just waste. They act as signaling molecules that keep the central nervous system in a pro-pain state. The glia in emergency mode are chemically broadcasting, stay alert, stay sensitized, keep hurting. The problem in chronic pain is that this switch is supposed to be temporary, a response to an acute threat that then resolves. But in chronic pain, the glia can get stuck in this activated Warburg-like pro-pain state. They don't stand down. And as long as they remain switched on, they keep producing the signaling metabolites that maintain central sensitization, the state where the central nervous system itself has become amplified, where pain is generated and sustained centrally, somewhat independent of the original site. This is a major part of why some chronic pain becomes centralized, living in the nervous system itself, and why it persists so stubbornly. The support cells have become drivers of the pain. The science of glial activation in chronic pain is one of the most important developments in modern pain research. We have extensive evidence that activated microglia and astrocytes drive and maintain central sensitization and neuroinflammation. The metabolic reprogramming of immune and glial cells toward aerobic glycolysis is well documented, and the role of metabolites like lactate as signaling molecules is increasingly understood. This connects cellular metabolism directly to centralized pain and points toward calming glial activation. So if you've been told dismissively that your pain is in your head, there's a profound irony here that I want to reframe for you. In a sense, centralized pain genuinely does involve changes in your central nervous system, in your brain and spinal cord. But that does not mean it's imaginary or that you're making it up. It means there are real physical metabolic changes in the cells of your nervous system maintaining your pain. In your head was meant as a dismissal. The cells of your nervous system maintaining your pain. In your head was meant as a dismissal. So here's our approach. We aim to calm glial activation and the central sensitization it drives. And the way in is to reduce the inputs that keep the glia switched on. That means lowering the systemic inflammation, the metabolic dysfunction, and the peripheral pain signals that activate and reactivate these cells using the full toolkit of this series. It means addressing the energy and inflammatory environment of the nervous system itself. As the drivers of glial activation are reduced, the glia have the opportunity to power down out of their pro-pain emergency mode. The central sensitization can begin to unwind, and pain that had become centralized and self-sustaining can finally loosen its grip. We're working to quiet the nervous system at the level of the cells maintaining the pain. Centralized pain is real, physical, and biological, which means it can be addressed. If your pain has taken on a life of its own inside your nervous system, there's a mechanism and there's a path. Go to painmd.tv and take the first step. I'm Dr. Padda. Let's help your nervous system stand down.